Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it happens to be where you are. Welcome aboard the Spirit of EAA Friendship World Tour in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. This is leg 7. We're going from Val-de-Cans to Guarulhos International. I have no clue how well I pronounced that. I probably butchered it badly. But either or, the flight's been going on for about 3.5 hours now, 3 hours now, give or take. We're 3 hours in. We've got some beautiful actual weather here. Live timeline weather at the moment. The aircraft's already trimmed out, ready to fly. We're flying. And we're just cruising along 15,000 feet. About 128 airspeed, but the ground speed, we're about 153, 152. We are on the USA West server. And just chilling, man. I've got music. I have music. I just gotta turn it on. We have music now. The CloudBot's being a jerk, but I'm not saying to do about that. I have no idea why it does that. It just doesn't like me. Try again in a minute. See if I can't get it to work. Let's see. CloudBot's gonna work. Let's see. CloudBot's gonna work. Oops, I have it looped. Sorry about that. Ah, finally, it's working. Let's try this one. Make sure everything works. Okay, Brett, it doesn't like you today. Oh, there it goes. We got Brett Plays, we got Icarus, we got Big Jackal Gaming, and what else do I have in here? Stellar Jewelry. Next up is the Frog. Of course, we got in the help me out here. Haas Flight Simmer. I want to make sure all these work. Yes, I'm spamming the chat. I don't care. I think the only one I got left is Bryce's, and until he straightens out what his name of his place is going to be, name of his channel, name of whatever he's doing, then we got to deal. I'll just leave that one for now. Those are the ones I have that seem to finally be working. Make sure if you haven't already, I'm sure everyone even has, but if you haven't already, make sure you check every one of those out. And if you take a moment to check out Stellar Custom Jewelry, if you ever have or want a custom jewelry piece done, they're the go-to people. Ask for Steven or Lori. They are incredible people. His work is off the charts. He made me a custom 1959 Cadillac ring that the whole grill and engine, the whole grill and front portion of the hood is a 59 Cadillac. His work is off the charts. He's in the process of redoing the very first ring my mother got from my father before her engagement ring. And he's doing just a phenomenal job. So if you need any repairs, new work, custom work, he can do anything. Give him a call. Check their website. You won't be disappointed. It's beautiful hill country here. It's light hills, rippling hills. Rippling hills, rolling hills. Not going to be trying to fill in talking over nothing. I had 2 likes, thank you to whoever's liked it already. If you know of anybody, if you happen to listen to this and know of anybody that can subscribe, they don't even have to watch, just subscribe. I need 6 more subscribers in the next 2 weeks so I can live stream from the trek. But there'll probably be like 50,000 people there, so live streaming may be spotty, but I'd like to be able to do it. So if you know of anybody that can subscribe, please do. I normally don't beg for that stuff. I don't beg for likes. I don't beg for subscriptions. But I'm begging now because I want to live stream from the trek. If you happen to stumble across this later in time, you can always join these flights. I usually put up the flight plan every week. And this is recreating the around the world flight that was done in Long Easies back in the 90s by the original creator of the aircraft and his chief test pilot. They each had their own Long Easy and went around the world. It took them 80-some days, 32 or 33 flight days. But all in all, I'm recreating it in the sim. I did cheat today. The flight plan today was almost 17 hours for the original flight plan. Because when they flew this originally, the country wanted way too much money for overflight fees to overfly the country. So they stayed 10 miles offshore the entire, from one airport to the next. It's a 9-hour flight direct. It was over 17 hours to stay off the shore. So I got off to a late start today. I didn't really want to wake up stupid early in the morning to start a stream and to start a flight that was going to last 17 hours. So that's why we're at where we're at. I do have the RPMs tad a little too high, but I'm trying to just stay ahead of the... I don't want this flight going on until 10, 11 o'clock tonight. We're chilling at 15,000 feet. Just checking out the beautiful scenery. The clouds. Like I say, hey, I'm excited. We've got music. We got background music. If it's too loud, let me know. If it's not loud enough, let me know. Please. I think I'm going to set the time back a little ways because I don't want to land in the dark. Well, it might fly in the dark. See if there's any lights down there, which I doubt there's going to be much. But if the weather holds, we might go ahead and keep the time live. Look at how long the shadow is in my right vertical stabilizer. It covers the entire plane. The entire wing side anyways. I still find it crazy that Brazil charged such high, I don't know if they still do, but they charge such extremely high overflight fees. I can't say I would look forward to flying for anywhere near 16, 17 hours in one of these things with no restroom, no place to land. And it took some guts back then, I'll tell you. As these planes did not have any form of cruise control or GPS. They may have had a rudimentary GPS at the time, but it wasn't like the modern maps and the modern systems. I've been a fan of Rutan's aircraft since I was probably about, I was exactly 12 years old when I met him and his brother out in Mojave, California. where my aunt lived, where they live, and got to see the predecessor to this, the very easy, at their facility. That's one of the reasons I was so hell bent on recreating this around the world flight, because they were a big inspiration in my life, I guess I want to say. I just struck me as amazing, these aircraft they built that didn't look like regular planes. So this is a big shout out to the Val-de-Cans and Melville for what they did back then. Shout out to my aunt who passed away 2 years ago now. She worked at Edwards Air Force Base most of her adult life. You could see one of the runways from her porch, the main runways. I used to love to go out and visit as a kid because I'd get to go to work with her and everybody'd show me around all the hangars. I could sit on her porch and watch experimental aircraft flying around, or whatever tests they were working on. One of the tests I got to see when I was out there was some anti-icing tests for helicopters out in the middle of the desert, but they would get up to a high altitude with a big Chinook with a boom on the back that would spray water on the helicopters following it. It's called the hiss. It's high altitude something icing, high altitude icing. I don't know all the terms of it, but I do remember being 12 and finding it funny that they dyed the water yellow so it was easier to see, and all the pilots called it the piss experiment. And that one of those silly little things that stuck in my head. One of the other aircraft I got to see back then was the XV-15 tilt rotor, which is the predecessor, the Bell, made by Bell, which is the predecessor to the Osprey. It was the first working prototype with the engines, or the propellers that swiveled up on the ends of the wings. I also got to see the oh dear Lord, was it the X-59? The one with the forward swept wings. X-29. 29? I'm going to have to look it up. Yeah, it was the X-29. It was a canard aircraft with the forward swept wings that unfortunately was so at variable geometry wings, it could change the thickness of the wing and the shape of the wing. And unfortunately, it crashed. It was a neat part of my life being able to go out there, and I love the small aircraft museum they have there with them outside are all planes that flew exclusively at Edwards. And I do know there's a big push to make a museum there and bring some of the aircraft back that are scattered around the country at other museums that really shouldn't be at the other museums because they only ever flew at Edwards. They're all experimental aircraft. It's a neat place to go to. You can schedule tours. They do have public tours there. It's worth it if you're out that way. Schedule a tour there. Especially if you're into aircraft. It's well worth the tour. Sorry, I'm paying attention. Long day and a long flight. Still a ways to go. Almost midpoint, I'd say. The mountains keep getting higher. Oh no, not even close to midpoint. Ah! Oh well. Yeah, that's much better noise-wise. That angle. I have to say I'm considering ending these flights for now. Thursday night flights, the low and slow or low and fast, it started to become a lot more enjoyable to do. These particular flights, let's put it simply, they're boring. I'm sure they're absolutely boring for you to watch. They're rather boring for me to make. I am considering putting these on the back burner. I will complete the flights, whether I do it on live stream or just do it on my own, and just do highlight videos of them or whatever. It will get completed one way or another. I'm just not sure I want to keep doing it in the format I'm doing it, because let's face it, part of playing the sim is to enjoy yourself and have fun, and these flights are getting, they're incredibly long. This one's not bad because it's over land, something to look at, but dear Lord, there's 3 or 4 flights which are 12 plus hours over water. Some of them are incredibly long flights. So I'm trying to think of something else to do instead. Actually been having a lot of fun with Icarus. He's been tracking down the old arrows that went across the U.S. for the mail runs, where the pilots would fly from arrow to arrow to arrow, because they didn't have GPSs or any of that crap. They had a compass, and that was about it. And they'd fly following a series of arrows from New York to, I think it was Northern California and Southern California both. I'm not sure the exact locations. He knows. That's been a hell of a lot of fun trying to find them, because some of them aren't there anymore, and some of them, let's just be fair, big maps are terrible. Some of them, you just see a blob on the ground that you're pretty sure is it, but you can't quite make out any part of it. I'm trying to think of a better series to do for Tuesdays, and I'm going to push it later in the day. much like the Thursday night flights. Just not sure what yet. Maybe I'll do a list of what I'm thinking of and put it in the forums and see what, or Discord forums, put it in Discord and see what people think. Maybe a low and slow tour of the national parks, or flying from every national park. The Lord knows there's a ton of them in the U.S. There's 63 national parks in the U.S. and maybe we could fly to see them all. Maybe fly a little bit faster jets to see them, and then when we get there, take some low and slows and take a cruise around the national parks. That's one thing I'm thinking about. I don't know. I'll come up with something. Like I said, I will finish these flights, but I have a feeling they're going to be in some sort of highlight format video. Let's be honest, you don't want to sit here for that many hours. I don't want to sit here for that many hours. And the 1.5 to 2 hour low and slow, low and fast flights seem to really get people in. It's enjoyable. It's fun. It doesn't take an entire day. Oh, we'll figure something out. maybe if I ever get around to doing jets, commercial jets, I could do a flight to every Formula One track. Or do the U.S. and fly from every state's capital. Fly and land at every single state's capital is a possibility. And if I did that one, I would also probably include Canada, so you can do all the provinces and their capitals. Another one I've had an idea about is the pole to pole. Starting extreme north that I can get up in Greenland. I think it's the highest landmass that we can get to with an airport. And head right on down to Antarctica. But make the flight much shorter than these 10, 11-hour flights. Those are some ideas that I'll throw up on the Discord and see what see what people are thinking, see what they would like to see. Oh yeah, Cessna just delivered their first new aircraft in a while. It's brand new. It's called the Cessna Sky Courier. It's a twin-engine utility turboprop. The first plane was delivered. They were first ordered in 2017. They were finally delivered. The first plane to FedEx. It has twin Pratt & Whitney PT6As, 65 SE. It does have a full Garmin G1000 NXI avionics, and you can get it in cargo or passenger configurations. The cargo configuration, top speeds 210 knots with a 6,000 pound payload, and the passenger variants, it's only 210 knots. It's a little bit shorter range. Set on 940 nautical miles for the cargo, 920 for the passenger, and the payload's 1,000 pounds lighter with the passenger. I imagine they pressurize the entire cabin for the passenger variant, where the cargo is left unpressurized, and that's probably where the weight difference comes. Or, well, it actually probably comes from the seats and all that crap, just to keep people safe. It's probably all pressurized. But Cessna's delivered a new aircraft, brand new. Maybe we'll see it in the sim someday. We're quickly running out of daylight. I switch my fuel tanks while I'm at it. It's still pretty balanced. And I am like the only plane out here in this part of the world. Usually there's a million planes around here. There's nobody out here. Not a million. Usually have anywhere from 2 to 20 players around. I got nobody out here. This is desolate. Oh, there's a town. Looks like town's got a runway. Oh, yes, it does. SBQK. Let's see where that is. Fazenda Mundial Airport. In Brazil, the elevation is 778 feet. See what we got on this airport. Went over runway length. Got all the radio frequencies. Huh. Everything on this page but the length of the runway. Apparently there are no airlines serving this airport. Looks like some more extreme hills, a little bit steeper hills down through here. almost halfway. I should have landed at that airport and called it a night. Maybe I will the next one. Where's the next one? SBUJ, huh? Probably got to turn this. This thing's been on long enough today. Been running for almost 4 hours. There's another 4 hours to go. I think I'm definitely landing very shortly. I've been out that short. Maybe I'll go a little longer. It's that one. SWCW. Let's see what that is. Cavalante Airport. Brazil. What do we got for? Oh, it almost looks like it's dirt. It is near a town. Town of Cavalante. Okay, what did they say the name, the airport code was? SWCW? I don't know if they'll let me add one here. Whoa! I think I just turned my thing off. Let's say that was SWCW. It's 150 miles out. We're only doing 150 miles an hour. 150 knots. Oh, hell. Get one closer. I don't want to go that. Definitely freaked out my autopilot. The hell's my aircraft? How did they get that far out of whack? I tell you that one. SBUJ instead. Oh, let's try this. Where's the nearest? That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, there's one right below me. We're going there before we run out of daylight. There's my 3D. The heading off, altitude off. See if I can find this. Supposed to be right below me. Where are you? Right over there. We're gonna go with that one. I thought I turned my autopilot off. It's still fighting me. Whoa! How to crash your plane in 3 easy steps. Not pay attention to what you're doing. Watch me do very bad things with my aircraft. That's what this is called. Now let's see if we can see this out the window. Oh, we gotta slow down. Roll the props back so we don't overspeed this beast. And sometimes I have an awful time finding runways. Probably still quite a ways out from that one. If we can find an airport in this mess. There are a lot of street lights. I don't quite see an airport yet. Tell if that's an airport or if that's a stretch of highway. There's a mine of some sort. Apparently I'm a bit farther away from that airport than I thought I was. It might be that long straight line of lights over there. If not, it's a highway. I'll end up landing in the middle of the highway. No, I turned farther away from it, didn't I? No. Okay, so that's definitely not it. It's going to be over there more. Probably somebody's lawn. Very cool little mountain ridge out here by itself. So if I get there with enough time to still have some daylight to see the runway. I'm getting closer really quickly and I'm not seeing this thing. Oh, there it is. There it be. Some rudder so we can bleed off some speed. Gear down. I don't know if I'm slow enough to get the dive brake down or not. Nope. Now I'm going to have too much dive brake out. Bother these people in the trailer. And put her down. Ooh, that hit hard. I have to check my landing gear after that one. Let's see, I can put that. This thing will let me turn in the dirt. So find a place to park. Oh, should have had my landing lights on. I didn't. the panel lights on. A little late for all that. Well, this is another part of the airship. Just dirt. Just dirt. Oh, that's close enough for me today. We're going to call that a flight. Shutting everything down. We're going to call it right here. Just not happy with the way things are going with that stream. And the flights, they're just too long, too boring. And I think, like I said, they're going to be some sort of highlight reel. I will finish them at some point. But we'll have something for next week. Till then, we'll hopefully see you all Thursday, because those are the fun ones. Those are the ones that's enjoyable. And if this isn't enjoyable, I'm not going to do it. So we want it to be enjoyable for not myself as well as everybody else that shows up. So if you happen to watch this to this point, congrats for making it this far. If not, that's fine too. I don't blame you. And hopefully we see you on Thursday when the fun begins. All right. Have a good evening.